may have seen my recent video, my short raving about Sterling Scion, the 11.5mm. Well, now Sterling has a brand new 32 strand double braid rope. This is Triad. It is a super cool rope, even less elongation than Scion, which Scion is crazy static. So this thing is awesome. I mean, we've had some great 32 strand ropes. I'm pretty sure Drenaline from Teufelberger is a 32 strand, then Blue 32, and now we got this Triad from Sterling. This is a really great rope. Because it's a double braid, it's a little bit more pliable than a regular kern mantle rope, so it's kind of like Blue 32, and it's really knottable. And they don't have a splice, an official splice for it yet, but it's in the paperwork, so I assume that you're going to be able to buy this with a splice pretty soon here. I'll definitely do a video where I do my splice on this rope. I don't know that I will get the official Sterling instructions, but I'm still going to go ahead and do it anyways. But yeah, this thing is super slick. I just did one oak and I'm in another one. Just worked through part of it, trying to get some footage of this, but it's going really good. Works great with the Rope Runner Pro. Honestly, the only thing about Scion that wasn't my favorite is, you know, it's super static, so it's a great SRS line, but it is like, I love really pliable ropes because you can tie a Blake's hitch with them. You cannot tie a Blake's hitch with Triad. It's not quite that flexible, but that's a good thing because when you're running it with mechanicals and ascenders, like your foot and knee ascender, it doesn't hockle up right when you come off the ground because Scion is a little bit more flexible. Right when you take off from the ground, you don't really have enough rope weight yet, so that so that your foot ascender will travel nicely up it. So unless you put a little weight on the end, then there's a little bit of two-stepping going on when you're coming up. But all of my ascents, I've done 5 or 6 so far, going back and forth from the cameras. All of my ascents on Triad have been super smooth. There hasn't been like any hockling with my foot ascender. As soon as I take up off the ground, my foot ascender's following it right away, just straight up the tree. Just cruising, really nice with the Rope Runner Pro. I haven't adjusted it really at all. I think it's on the number 3 setting, so right there in the middle. That's another great thing about this rope is 11.9mm. So it sits in that sweet spot to work with just about every single mechanical out there and be like really in that nice tuned in zone, because Scion at 11.5mm, that is the cutoff for a lot of mechanical ascenders. So if you got a little bit more weight on the system, everything's just going to run a little bit looser on something that's quite this small. But I think pushing that bulk almost up to 12mm puts it so that it's going to run really nice and everything. The Rope Runner does nice on everything, even 11mm, but especially like the Akimbo can be a little bit slippery, especially on smaller ropes. It's kind of fiddly to tune with. You know, if you go even chunkier, it's easier to tune it, but it's nice to be somewhere right in the middle, just like this Triad is. I don't climb on the Akimbo much because I don't like that fiddliness, but the Rope Runner is great. I'll probably have to, after I splice it, I'll try running it on the zigzag and see how it goes, because all of these ropes are great on single rope and moving rope. But yeah, all the ascents I felt, everything just like Scion, where it's super static, but plenty easy enough to tie my favorite alpine butterfly follow through for my canopy anchor. And it hasn't been flattening at all. The Rope Runner is the device that's kind of known for flattening ropes if they're a little too pliable. Not so much the Pro, the original one, flattens stuff a little bit more. And it's been doing fine. Sometimes you'll get where if you run the same section of rope a bunch, it'll flatten out and then you'll get some creep coming up and down the rope. That has not been happening with this. Like I told you, I've been running laps just up and down to set and move the cameras, and this thing hasn't been creeping on me at all when I've been coming back down. So far, everything's going really great. It's got a pretty fun pattern. I don't really know of any other ropes out there that have a colorway quite like this one, but yeah, so far it's going really good. I love it just as much as my Scion. This is a great new fun rope to try. So now I'm just going to expose the core so that I can do a little bit of math when it comes to doing the splice. So I will say, of the other ropes that I've spliced that have been constructed like this, that is the most inner cores that I've seen. Usually, you know, you got the braided, cover braided core, and then there's just a couple little guys in here. There's actually four, mostly what I would consider straight twines. But yeah, those are a little bit beefier than you usually find in the core of a rope like this. That is definitely going to help keep it static and a little bit more rigid. And then let's see, I was going to count the core strands to see what my math's going to be for the splice. Yeah, it's a pretty densely woven core. It looks like 8 core pairs each way, so 16, and but they're doubled up, so that's going to be 32 overall. Well, that is going to make the splice a little interesting, but that will be for the next video. Well, thank you so much for watching. It's been fun getting to know this new rope, and keep an eye out for that splicing video. We'll see if we can't figure this thing out. This is another impressive rope from Sterling for single rope and double rope, and I definitely think it's worth checking out if you're looking to upgrade your single rope line. I think this would be a great step from a 24 strand rope up to something a little bit techier. Or if you're climbing on a regular kern mantle rope and you want to switch to something that's a little bit more of a hybrid rope between double and single rope, this is another excellent option, especially for getting into all kinds of mechanicals, because that larger diameter puts it in a pretty good sweet spot for just about every mechanical that you could want to try. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.